Hi everyone, I'm the plant propagator and welcome to my channel. I am still in the Midwest US and it's a little bit chilly for me. I got used to the Florida sunshine and heat, and we don't have that here. So it's been a little bit of it's a beautiful cool day, autumn day. But what I wanted to do is share with you one of my favorite plants. I don't have any orchids here. I've got I've got the regular plants growing in my garden, but I wasn't very active planting here in the spring because I wasn't here. So a lot of what I have that is growing are perennials or self-seeding plants. And what I wanted to share with you today is one of my favorite self-seeding plants. And that is this guy right here. So I've got him here. I've got some of them behind me, and this is Perilla. Perilla is a member of the mint family. So it's Lamiaceae. And one of the characteristics of members of the mint family is that they have square stems. So if you take a look at this cutting right here that I took, as you turn it between your fingers, it always turns it at 90-degree angles because the stem is square. Again, that's one of the key indicators that it's in the mint family. Many of the mint family members are also very fragrant, not all of them, and a lot of them are herbs. So basil is a member of the mint family, and I've shared with you how I grow that in the past. I have sage and tropical sage. Here I have sage, one of my favorite plants, another one of them, and that's also in the mint family. But this is the Perilla is really interesting, and I really like it, not as much as a plant, but more for what you can do with a plant. So these are not real common, and a few years ago I wasn't growing it at all. And what happened is I went to on one of my many trips that I took, I went to Korea. And in Korea I fell in love with this stuff. What they do, it's interesting, what you do in Korea when you're having a meal with the Perilla is you have all these leaves from here and from here. You all have these leaves cleaned, stacked up on the table, and then you have a variety of different things that you add to the middle of the Perilla leaf and then eat it. This thing is, the fragrance on this thing is really really great. Again, it's very common in Korean cuisine, not as common in the US, but I really like this stuff. And what I try to do is have a Perilla meal a few times when I come back. These things are a little bit past their prime. They are actually starting to flower now. The flowers on this plant aren't really very notable on this plant. They're just white, small flowers. The bees do like them. So as I'm sitting here watching my plants, I've got some over there, and then behind me, I can see, even though it's late in the day, I can see the bees pollinating this plant. And what happens is they generate a lot of seeds. As far as propagation goes, if you have the right conditions, these can be a little invasive. They can be bad. But for what I'm doing, I've got a few plants. They're very easy to pull up. So if you have too many of them, you just pull them up. But they're very successful seed producers. And even in the Midwest, when we have cold winters, the seed overwinters, and you have germination and really nice plant formation. The plants can take full sun to part sun, and they're, like I said, they're very easy to propagate from seed. I had a hard time initially finding a supplier of Perilla seed, but once I found a supplier where I got even low percentage of germination, I could generate my own seed. And this seed that I get from these plants is, again, these have been self-seeding probably for close to 10 years. So these things have done really well. And again, they don't they get big, as you can see, but they won't really take over the space. Or if they do, you just pull them up, and they're easy, at least for me here, to pull up and remove. You know, in Korea you can find this stuff everywhere, and in Korea homes in the United States you find this everywhere. But I just love this stuff. The bottom of these leaves are purple. They come in a variety of different colors. They're almost like coleus, where you can get a lot of different color variation. You can get purple. I mean, this is green on the top, purple on the bottom. I don't know, what variety this is or anything like this. I just know that I have a lot of seed. I'm going to try planting some in Florida when I get back, but I have a lot of plants growing here, and I'm just going to let them seed and grow and have plants growing over the winter time. All right, so you can propagate this plant from seed. You can also, as with many members of the mint family, you can propagate this from cuttings. So you can take a cutting, you pull all the leaves and flowers off except for maybe 2, and stick this in rooting powder and in soil, or I've also seen it pretty easy. These are pretty easy to root just in water. But again, when you take cuttings, you have to, in order to lessen the shock, when you take cuttings, you have to remove most of the leaves and then place it either in water or in soil. And when you remove the leaves, then there'll be less evaporation or transpiration, and there'll be less shock, and the root formation will be a little bit more efficient when there aren't as many leaves associated with the cutting. So they're very easy to propagate. I really like this plant, but again, the main thing, not for flowers, not for how the plant looks, it just grows like a bush, but because the leaves are so tasty. It has a very characteristic fragrance associated with it. I've seen people, fry these leaves. I've seen it prepped a certain way. I would not enjoy this just as a salad, but what you do is you take the leaves, and you can take the big leaves, wash them off, and then you make them like this. I'm going to have a little snack down here. And in Korea, when I went, what happens is there's all the different components of the meal that are in these small bowls. So there's, I've got here some rice. I've got here some fried eggs. I've got some pepper, zucchini, and cooked carrots. And what you do is you just kind of put them in the middle of the leaf like this, and I'd like to have either soy sauce. This is actually sweet soy sauce, and I'll put a little bit of this on here like that. And then if you're not delicate, like I'm not delicate, you just take the whole thing, and I'm salivating here just looking at it, and you wrap it up like this, and you shove the whole thing in your mouth. And what you can taste is all the different components, everything that you put in here. But what I'm picking up is, sorry about that, a little bit of soy sauce, taste a little egg, maybe a little carrot, not too much. But the main thing that I really love about this is the taste of the perilla as it all goes together and as it all goes down. So again, one of my most favorite plants. I should also say that you don't need, I must have 15 plants growing here. You don't need that many plants. All you really need is 1 or 2. There's a bee right there, so and like I said, the bees really do like this. But this is one plant right here, and there's probably around, I would guess, 30 to 50 leaves on this one plant. And they do get, the leaves get, this is a cutting that I took. The leaves can get pretty big. I'm looking at some of these leaves here, and there are some holes in it. So there's some insect feeding that is going on, but for the most part, many of the members of the mint family, you don't, because there's so much fragrance associated with it, there's not much herbivory. I have deer that love to get, I have a rose right, they love eating my rose. They love coming up in my yard, eating my rose, eating many of the plants that are around me. They do not touch this stuff. I love it. Luckily, the deer do not, so I have plenty. They love big leafed greens when they're eating. Anyway, that's all I wanted to share with you today is Perilla, how easy it is to grow and propagate and eat a very, very nice, special way. Again, one of my greatest memories, I had a great trip to Korea, and it was one of the greatest memories of my trip to Korea is how we all just sat around the table, and a lot of Asian cultures, and just shared all the food, and just again putting it in these leaves and just kind of enjoying it with my great Korean friends. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed my video. If you did and you want to keep on seeing them, it would help me out if you can click on like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you're not already a subscriber. All right, again, I hope you enjoyed it, and happy propagating.